Greed. A lot of people think it's just about money, but it could also be that constant whisper in your head saying, more, I need more success, more attention, more validation, more love, more control, more everything. And the messed up thing is greed doesn't always come off as evil. It can look ambitious, it can look productive, like a hustle even. It can look like discipline. But on the inside, it's empty, it's restless, and it's never satisfied because greed doesn't want enough. It wants everything. Greed is when wanting turns into worship. It's when life becomes about chasing instead of living. When you stop appreciating what you already have because your brain is so locked onto what you don't. You hit a goal, and instead of being proud, you instantly move the finish line further back. You buy something, and the happiness lasts about 3 minutes before you're already wanting the next upgrade. You finally get the attention, and suddenly you need more eyes. You need more likes, more voices telling you that you matter. Greed isn't necessarily being empty. Greed is refusing to ever feel full. And the worst part about it is you'll tell yourself it's normal. You'll tell yourself this is success. You'll tell yourself that one more thing will finally make you feel complete and whole, right? But as we know, it never does because greed feeds on lack. If you were never satisfied, then it would starve. Greed rarely likes to announce itself. It doesn't walk in saying like, oh hey, I'm a deadly sin. It slides in disguised as goals, as dreams, as drive even. It shows up when you compare your life to others. You obsess over image and treat people like stepping stones, feeling threatened when somebody else wins. Or believe happiness lives in the future. Greed turns life into a scoreboard in a way. Suddenly, friendships feel like a competition, success feels like survival, and love feels like ownership. And you don't necessarily notice the shift. It's very hard to pinpoint it because everyone else does it too, whether we know it or not. We live in a world that praises greed. Get yours, chase the bag, never settle, be number one. Things of that nature. We hear that all the time, but nobody really asks at what cost. Because, yeah, you might gain the world, but you might lose yourself doing it. So where does it come from? Greed isn't born from money. It's born from fear. Fear of being insignificant, fear of being unseen, fear of not being enough. Greed is what happens when love, safety, and validation feel scarce. So you start grabbing. You grab attention, you grab possessions, you start grabbing control, because deep down, you don't trust that there will be enough for you. And for some of us, we grew up feeling like resources were limited, like love was limited, approval was limited. So we learned to compete, to hoard, to cling. Greed isn't loud confidence. It's silent insecurity. Greed also doesn't break your life overnight. It erodes it slowly. You start working harder, but feeling less fulfilled. You get more attention, but still you feel more alone than you initially started. But the emptiness doesn't shrink. It grows. You stop seeing people as people. They become tools. Connections become transactions. Even your achievements lose meaning. Because none of them are ever enough. And what really hurts is you stop being grateful. Gratitude is what keeps the soul grounded. And greed likes to rip the anchor out and let you drift away, forever chasing something that you will never catch. There's this illusion of when I finally do this, when I finally make more money, when I finally get noticed, when I finally prove myself, then I'll be happy. Then I can relax. Then I'll feel worthy. But every single time you get there, quote unquote, moves. It's like running on a treadmill. You feel exhausted, but you're still in the same place you started. But it's all mental. And the truth nobody wants to admit, being content or contentment isn't found in having more. It's found in needing less. Here, I'll put this into perspective. Some of the richest people alive aren't the ones with money. They're the ones with peace, self-respect, real friendships, time with people they love, a purpose, gratitude, presence. Things that you cannot physically purchase. Things that you can't flex. Things that don't fit in a bank account. Greed likes to convince you that these are extras, but really they are everything. Because when the noise quiets and your life slows down, those are the only things that you have and the only things that matter. And I want to make something clear real quick. There is nothing wrong with working hard, wanting to be successful, wanting comfort, wanting better for yourself. Ambition builds. Ambition is great, but greed replaces. Ambition asks, how can I grow? But greed asks, how can I have more than you? Ambition adds life. Greed drains it. It's a heart difference, not a money difference. I'd also like to say, greed isn't cured by poverty. It's cured by perspective, by realizing you don't need everything to be fulfilled. You don't need to outrun everyone to have value. You don't need constant progress to be worthy of love. You learn to appreciate the little things, the small moments, simple joy, quiet peace. You practice gratitude, not because life is perfect, but because you finally noticed what's good in it. And slowly, you stop chasing and you start living. And the scariest part about it, I know I say this a lot, but it's true. Greed isn't loud or obvious. The scariest version of it is when it blends into your personality so well that you don't even notice it anymore. It sounds like, I'll rest when I deserve it. Right? That's a very common phrase. I'll be happy when I get there. I can't slow down. I'll fall behind. You start believing that your value is equal to your productivity for the day. You don't enjoy moments. You sort of collect them. You don't make friends. You network. You don't love. You attach. And you could call it discipline. You could call it maturity. You could call it focus. But really, you've forgotten how to simply be. Greed replaces presence with pressure. You're physically in the room, but mentally somewhere else. Chasing the next thing, whatever it may be, before this one is even over yet. And people think you're winning, but only you know how exhausted your soul actually is. And if you're listening to this and can relate to this, I promise this is an attack. It isn't an attack. Just a reminder that you're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to enjoy what you already have without feeling guilty for it. Because life isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be lived. My dad always said this saying, you can't take it all with you when you die. So yeah, make the best of it. Greed is dangerous. Not because it makes you powerful, but because it convinces you that without more, you are nothing. But you have to know that's not true. You have to know you are already enough without the numbers, the followers, the approval, the trophies, the physical objects, the things. In the moment that you realize that, greed loses its power. Because real wealth isn't measured in what you own. It's measured in what still matters when everything else gets stripped away from you. And if you still have love, purpose, peace, and people, you were never poor. Not even once. Thank you all for listening. And remember, as always, stay rolly.